Imagine waking up every day in a freaking pineapple under the sea. Sounds fun, right? Well, guess what? It's not. Welcome to the tragic, never-ending nightmare of SpongeBob SquarePants, the most unlucky sea sponge ever. Between his soul-crushing job at the Krusty Krab and his relentless bad luck, his life is anything but a dream. First of all, let's talk about his house. Who in their right mind lives in a pineapple? That thing is a fruit. It's not waterproof, it's not durable, and worst of all, it's probably rotting from the inside out. Imagine living inside something that smells like fermented pineapple juice and sea salt 24/7. Disgusting. SpongeBob has literally never taken a single vacation in his life, ever. My guy wakes up every morning, excited to flip Krabby Patties like his life depends on it. No weekends, no PTO, no raises. Just non-stop minimum wage labor at a greasy fast food joint owned by a literal, money-hungry crab. Capitalism at its finest. Speaking of Mr. Krabs, let's be real. This dude is the worst employer in history. The man literally charges SpongeBob to work there. One time, he sold SpongeBob's soul for 62 cents. That's less than a pack of gum. And let's not forget the time he cut out employee benefits and replaced them with nothing. Then there's Patrick. You'd think having a best friend would make life better, but nope. Patrick is a whole liability. The dude contributes nothing to society, gives terrible advice, and somehow makes SpongeBob's life 10 times worse. He's the friend who convinces you to skip work and then gets you fired. SpongeBob lives right next to Squidward, the guy who hates him more than I hate my Monday morning alarm. No matter what SpongeBob does, Squidward will always see him as an annoying, over-enthusiastic freak. Imagine being so excited about life that your neighbor wants to commit a crime. That's tough. But somehow, SpongeBob never seems to take the hint. Here's the biggest L of them all. SpongeBob cannot pass his boating exam, ever. The dude has failed over 1,000 times. Even Mrs. Puff, his driving instructor, would rather be jailed than keep teaching him. That's like your Uber driver having a panic attack every time they get behind the wheel. Just imagine that. SpongeBob's so-called enemy Plankton. Yeah, he's just a tiny little green dude who can't run a business. And yet, SpongeBob spends his life fighting this dude instead of realizing he could just quit and get a better job. This is corporate brainwashing, people. He's literally defending a burger joint like it's a sacred mission. SpongeBob's laugh. Oh my God. If you ever needed a sound to torture your worst enemy, just play a loop of SpongeBob's laugh. Scientists have confirmed it is more annoying than nails on a chalkboard. His own friends cringe every time he does it. That's tragic. Even dolphins, which his laugh supposedly resembles, would probably beg him to stop. Bikini Bottom is basically a lawless wasteland. You got a squirrel living underwater, giant mutant jellyfish, and a literal citywide riot every other week. Imagine just trying to buy groceries, and suddenly the whole town is on fire. That's a regular Tuesday for SpongeBob, and somehow, everyone just goes back to work the next day like nothing happened. Let's talk about Sandy Cheeks. It's clear SpongeBob has a huge crush on her, but let's be real. Sandy only sees him as a weird, talking sponge. The guy built an entire dome of water just to visit her, and what does he get in return? A handshake. Bro is deep in the friend zone, and the worst part is, he doesn't even realize it. Gary, his pet snail, is probably the smartest character in the whole show. The problem, Gary does not respect SpongeBob. The little dude runs away multiple times, talks back in snail language, and even leaves to live with another family. That's gotta hurt. And yet, despite all this, SpongeBob still adores him unconditionally. Here's the scariest part. SpongeBob never ages. He never gets promoted, never moves out, never grows up. He is forever stuck as a minimum wage fry cook in a pineapple prison, surrounded by idiots. That is true horror, a never-ending cycle of optimism crushed by an unchanging reality. And worst of all, he doesn't even realize it. Have you ever wondered why SpongeBob never gets older? Maybe it's because he's trapped in a time loop, forced to relive the same boring fry cook life forever. Every day is a repeat, and he never questions it. That's some Twilight Zone level horror, an endless cycle of happiness masking an eerie, existential nightmare. Ever noticed how weirdly chaotic Bikini Bottom is? What if it's all an experiment? What if SpongeBob isn't just unlucky, but he's a test subject in some government-controlled underwater simulation? The Krabby Patty secret formula, probably mind control. Wake up, people. At the end of the day, SpongeBob doesn't even know he's suffering. He wakes up happy, even though his life is objectively awful. Maybe the real horror isn't that his life sucks, it's that he'll never realize it. And perhaps that ignorance is both his curse and his bliss. There's something unsettling about that. Now that's dark. SpongeBob isn't just a fry cook, he's a mascot, a walking ad for the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs uses him as free marketing. Have you ever noticed there's no advertising for the Krusty Krab? That's because SpongeBob is the advertisement. The dude is so passionate, he doesn't even realize he's being exploited. So there you have it, folks. The sad, tragic reality of being SpongeBob SquarePants. Next time you complain about your 9 to 5, just remember, at least you're not flipping Krabby Patties for free in a rotting pineapple. While your only reward is the fleeting approval of a greedy crab, it really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?